Hello beautiful beings, and welcome back to the realm of inspiration. Today's video, we are connecting to the group soul of the hawks and their connection to the element of the air to conclude the animal healers with the elements. Little mini series we've had going on with the salamanders and fire, the whales, the humpback whales specifically, and the emotional body and water. The salamanders are also the spiritual body, and we also did for the physical body, we had the wolves with the earth element. So now it is the hawk's turn. Another little fascinating thing about the hawks is that they are also a symbol of the warrior frequency. So that being said, before we get into the channeling where we will be connecting with the hawks and what they have to say with the mental body and the air element and how the air element and the hawks can help us with the mental body and all that crisscrossing golden woven path of the energy of the earth helping us in our spiritual journey, we're going to do a protection together. This is a protection to open our mind and to protect our energy, especially since by the time that this video comes out, it will be the start of a new month. So it is perfect to set our intention. So join me in taking a few deep breaths. We are going to do sort of like a triangle breath situation. So we're gonna breathe in for a count of 3, breathe out for a count of 3, breathe in for a count of 3, breathe out for a count of 3, breathe in, breathe out. And just imagine your energy forming a triangle shape. So ready? 1, 2, 3, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, breathe out. Next, 1, 2, 3, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, breathe out. 1, 2, 3, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, breathe out. Just visualizing that triangle shape. We're going to move that triangle shape visualization to the front and center. And we're going to call on nothing and no one can access me nor my energy without my permission. Nothing and no one can access me nor my energy without my permission. Nothing and no one can access me nor my energy without my permission. I am surrounded by divine light and love. I am surrounded by divine light and love. I am surrounded by divine light and love. God protects, God watches over. God protects, God watches over. God protects, God watches over. Gaia anchors, Gaia grounds. Gaia anchors, Gaia grounds. Gaia anchors, Gaia grounds. My guardian angels surround me in their wings. My guardian angels surround me in their wings. My guardian angels surround me in their wings. Archangel Michael protects me. Archangel Michael protects me. Archangel Michael protects me. Archangel Uriel gives me strength. Archangel Uriel gives me strength. Archangel Uriel gives me strength. Archangel Raphael heals me. Archangel Raphael heals me. Archangel Raphael heals me. Archangel Gabriel brings me clarity of mind. Archangel Gabriel brings me clarity of mind. Archangel Gabriel brings me clarity of mind. Archangel Metatron protects my lightworker abilities. Archangel Metatron protects my lightworker abilities. Archangel Metatron protects my lightworker abilities. Archangel Sandalphone brings me stability. Archangel Sandalphone brings me stability. Archangel Sandalphone brings me stability. I call on my Elfian Traveler Guide, my Ascension Guide, to ensure that everything that I am doing is for the betterment of my ascension. I call on my Elfian Traveler Guide, my Ascension Guide, to ensure that everything I'm doing is for the betterment of my ascension. I call on my Elfian Traveler Guide, my Ascension Guide, to ensure that everything that I am doing is for the betterment of my ascension. I call on all Ascended Masters to bring forth the golden Christed light into my energy field and protect me and purge away all negativities. I call on all Ascended Masters to bring the golden Christed light into my energy field to pure away all negativities and enter and protect me. I call on all Ascended Masters to bring forth the golden Christed light to protect my energy field, to enter, to purge away all negativities, and to protect me. We are safe and protected. We are opening our minds. We are bringing forth now. You can stop that triangle visual because we're going to visualize the diamond of clarity, opening our minds to what we need to know, not what we want to hear, for our highest good. And today we are gaining clarity on the element of air and its relationship to the mental body, the hawks and their ability to help us as a totem healer for the mental body, and connection to the element of air to assist us in our spiritual journey. So that being said, we are going to call forth now an Elfian Animal Healer of the Hawk Group Soul to guide this reading, this delivering of messages, to gain insight into this divine infinite wisdom. So I invite you all to be open to the messages coming through and to remember, when it comes to clarity, when it comes to clarity, if it finds you, don't ignore it because you don't like what you are hearing. Okay, that is kind of the energy, the theme, what I'm feeling right now. When clarity comes to you, and I just went through this experience, so as always, I cannot channel things until I go through that experience, right? Or I have to go through that experience before the channeling reaches the collective. So I just went through this experience. When clarity finds you, do not ignore it because it's something that your ego doesn't like. That is for the mental body. That is for understanding how you can use the element of air to assist you in your spiritual practice and healing journey. And that's for working with the hawks as well. So we're going to cultivate some energy now. I'm feeling a divine, masculine, Elfian animal healer of the hawks. I feel I've channeled this Elfian healer before, so it feels familiar. We're going to see what messages come through and be open to whatever you have to say. Beautiful being of inspiration, we are only inviting in the Elfian Realm today. An Elfian animal healer of the hawk group soul. Divine masculine energy from the Elfian animal healer domain of the Elfian Realm. Please step forth when I have safely stepped back. Hello. I am a divine, masculine, Elfian animal healer of the hawk group soul. Hello, humanity. Here is a few things to note as background before we proceed. First, the hawk group soul is a very powerful totem figure and has been a powerful totem figure across various cultures. The hawks are known for their precision and for a different aspect of that higher perspective vantage point. The eagles are a little bit different than the hawks. The hawks bring forth something new, something more inspired. In the future, we will speak a little bit more about the eagles and their spiritual implication as we have spoken of them and the crows. And now it is time for the hawks, right? The higher vantage point perspective. We have already introduced many of the birds' perspectives onto the spiritual realm of things and the non-physical to you as a collective. The hawks and the eagles do share some things in common, but what sets the hawks apart is their warrior symbolism. That they are more of that nitty-gritty work. Eagles tend to sit up high on their high perspective. They tend to sit up on the throne. And that is something that doesn't necessarily make them a mental body healer, as the mental body goes through highs and lows, but more of a representation of that higher perspective that you want to reach in your enlightenment journey. Now, for the hawks, they represent the highs and lows of the mental body and the warrior energy needed to overcome blockages and limitations within the mind. For the hawk group soul, they work with the air element, specifically in ushering in clarity. When you look at things from a higher vantage point, you don't always gain clarity. You gain a different perspective. And eagles are that perspective. Whereas crows, for example, are the messengers, eagles are the perspective, and hawks are the clarity for a trinity of birds who are higher messengers and carry higher healing energy for your spiritual enlightenment ascension journey. For the hawk group soul, what they intend to do when they come and visit you specifically is to help you gain clarity by giving you the strength to be a warrior in your own mind, not a worrier. For you to release all worries and anxieties and paranoias that act as walls and blockages from you understanding truly what is going on. So what they offer you is that energy, that strength to overcome challenges of the mind, which is something that they represent. When they work with the air element and the air element's implications is the air that you breathe, the oxygen through your nose, right? That you are breathing in. When you breathe in fresh air, it revitalizes the mind. And actually, why deep breaths are important for protecting your energy and for calming down during times of anxiety is because the fresh air of the earth entering into your body, entering into fresh air from the outside specifically, but also just in general new air, but it's more impactful if it's just the natural air with the trees and the earth and the breeze, right? Breathing in, that is food for the brain. That is food for the mental body. That is healing for the mental body. It is also as healing for the emotional body, but mainly healing for the mental body. What it does is when it's pure air from the earth, angelic Mother Gaia, that angelic guardian angel of the earth, and the nature itself, and God can bring forth healing through the fresh air that you breathe from nature, as everything in nature has healing implications, right? So when you breathe in that fresh air, it offers healing to the mind. It is a very quick reset. What this specific healing is, it is a healing of scrambled brain, healing of lack of present moment awareness. When you take deep breaths and you bring yourself into present moment awareness, in that moment, any negative blockages in your mind, any worrying, any obsessive thinking, that dissipates for that period of time that you are focused on breathing in fresh air. And the more that you focus on that, the more that you can work to dissipate that extreme hyper-toxic vigilance that causes you to be over-worried, over-anxious, and hyper-aware of things to a degree that you are unable to be in the present moment awareness because you are too focused on what might happen next. So, what is important to do and understand is when you are seeking clarity and you are seeking full dominion over the mind, fresh air from the outside specifically can help assisting in that and taking in breaths. Why number 3 is important is because it hits the 3 points of the mind. Okay? The first one is hitting the crown, okay? The second one is hitting your vagus nerve. Okay, and the third one is hitting the ultra major, ultra minor little chakra point that is around the vagus nerve. It is hitting the 3 points of the brain, the spiritual brain, not the scientific brain, but the spiritual brain, the crown chakra, the vagus nerve, and the ultra major, also which are connected to the causal chakra. Right, so that is hitting those points when you do the 3. When you expand it, you are expanding, and the more deep breath counts that you take, you go up to 5, you go up to 10. The more that you do it, the more that you expand this Mandela pattern, this weaving energy around you, okay? So what that does is when you are, let's say you do a 10 count, then you're doing the triangle multiple times, and then it's creating a pattern of clarity, and healing, and present moment anchoring. Present moment anchoring. Present moment anchoring is how the air element can help you with the mental body. The mental body is a weapon. Okay, what we mean by this is it can be a weapon of light or a weapon of darkness. The mental body is, truthfully, next to the spiritual body, one of the more powerful body systems that you humans possess, because you can use your mental body to manifest, but it can also be used to cause harm. Okay, your thoughts create reality. Your thoughts, and you think something, but you don't take that action, right? Is it the actions that have more power? But if you ruminate on a thought long enough, it has more power than a simple action. So, be careful of your mind. Now, this does not mean that it is wrong to have sometimes negative thoughts crossing your mind. This is part of being human. But that is when you center yourself to the outside, you take some deep breaths, you clear your mind, and you understand where and why that thought is coming. And when you need clarity on that, that is when the hawk group soul can come in and offer the clarity that you need. And if you need perspective, you can call in the eagles as well. They're a group soul to help you gain that perspective. And if you feel like that thought is truly a message, the crows can help you understand if that is the case. And that is how you can work with all of these group souls. And when they visit you, what they have to say. Now it is a little bit more common, especially during the colder months of the year, to see more crows. So does this always mean that there is a message? Right? Yes, of course. But there's more of them because the veil is thinner in the colder months of the year. That is also why it is more important to protect your mind in the colder months of the year. And hawks are also known to be flying in the snow, too, in some areas of the world. So it is very important that during the colder months of the year, where, and we mean the Octobers, Novembers, Decembers, where the veil is thinner, that you are protecting your mind, that you are understanding your mind, and that you are accepting the clarity. Perspective typically comes in the spring. It's the high season of perspective. The winter season is, where the veil is starting to get a little bit thicker. The veil is the thinnest during the fall. And that's why a lot of cultural holidays exist specifically in October in regards to the veil thinning. Because that is the energy going on with the seasons. It's that cycle. The veil is thinnest in the fall. It's at its thickest in the spring. Remember this. So, that being said, call on the hawks during this period of time to give you clarity. And don't allow negative whispers in your ears. Now, for the mental body, you must protect your ears. Okay? This is important. What sound you are allowing into your mind. And the sound of the hawk, which isn't as commonly heard. You hear the sound of the crow more, right? Or some other birds. But if you can find the sound of the hawk and you pair it with certain hertz frequencies that are specific for cleansing and disrupting negative energy and bringing forth clarity, paired with the sound of the hawk, that can offer some protective energy to your ears and also bring you clarity. And this is especially important for, like our communicator, the clairaudience of the world. Everyone has different degrees of clairaudiency, but the clairaudience are the ones who are born with their clairaudiency active, and they don't really have to go through much to open it. It is the gift of birth, the gift in their birth that they have. So, in these cases, and in all cases, pay attention to your ears. Note that what you see and read out loud becomes something that you hear and enters your mental body through your ears. So when you are reading something or repeating something, think, do I really believe this? Do I want to give life to this? Do I want to give power to this? Because once you say it, it enters your mind. And if it's something not good, do you want it lingering in your mind? Your mind is responsible for the things that you say out loud. And the things that you say out loud create reality. And the more that you ruminate on something in your mind, it is the equivalent of saying it out loud. Because the sound frequency is the most powerful. Because it is a frequency. The one on the earth is unique. The sound in the non-physical is not the same. The sound of the earth is different. And when it comes to you as beings of life, it is more powerful. It is a more powerful tool. So use it wisely. When you think, let's add a fourth bird into the mix, the owls that work with the third eye, that also work with the wisdom, but mainly the third eye, that intuition, that knowing. Know and remember the power of your mind. And what can happen if you get caught in spirals of negativity and allow revenge, anger, jealousy, judgment, any of those deadly concepts to control you? It is a weapon, it is a tool, your mind. And you, as the soul, have the control. Do not forget that. And always remember that. You, as the soul, have the control. And if you forget, breathe in the fresh air, call on the hawks, and remember that you are more than your mind. Your mind is the vessel that you use to heal, manifest, and be a being of life. Thank you. That felt like the conclusion. I wasn't shown many visuals except just greenery. Which might be because next week will be the Healing Green video. So maybe that's why I'm seeing greenery. But also like trees, oxygen, fresh air. I did see the visual of, I don't know exactly how to put it, but the like artificial smells, they always say that smell is like an earthly element. It's not something metaphysical, but it is a tool that can help us in the earth, because that smell, like what enters our mind, affects us. So when we breathe in, like say lavender, for example, and lavender carries healing properties of calming, that breathing that in brings healing, but it's not necessarily the smell of lavender. So that's why like artificial incense, artificial smells, artificial lavender, like lavender is great when it's its purest, like if you're purely burning lavender incense or something. But if it's artificial, an artificial fragrance, it doesn't offer healing. It doesn't do anything to help. It does more negative effects on the like physical body, but also the spiritual energy. What I was seeing is the more that we have like artificial things in the air, things not from the earth, the fresh air that we need for the clarity and to have true control over our mind and to stop living in fear, we start losing access to that. So people are typically more anxious in environments that are overcrowded. For example, in an overcrowded environment, and I feel this, there's a lot more artificialness in the air, there's a lot more pollution in the air, and it's hard to gather pure, fresh oxygen. So a lot of people panic, and that's where claustrophobia comes in, or agoraphobia, when there is so much artificialness going on in the air that you cannot access fresh air. Where is a tree? Where is some oxygen? The other day, I needed to ground and anchor, and quite literally, I found a space. Not a lot of people, a lot more nature. I found a lavender bush, and I am touching the lavender, and I'm smelling it, and I'm like, getting the smell of like the pure lavender, and I felt so much better. And just getting out from the artificial air to just anchor and be able to use your rational mind. When there is so much pollution in the air, we're not able to use our rational mind. We're not able to think, to create. And when you're using your rational mind, it can get you to your spiritual mind, because your rational mind pulls you out of fear. And when you're pulled out of fear is when you can access the higher self. So it's moving, it's that process. So getting to the rational mind is the first step to getting to the intuitive mind. You have to not get stuck in being like super logical all the time, because spirituality isn't always logical. There are some things that don't make sense, but being more rational is that key step. So it's important for that as well, because I just had that experience. And it's also another visual is if you're feeling like overstimulated or overwhelmed, that just the air itself, the pure air outside, laying in the ground and just like allowing the air of the earth to like kind of give you a hug, kind of give you a cleansing, the wind, the breeze, is something that can be very helpful as just a quick to access thing. And there also is a protective nature over the hawk group. So like they have a protective totem where it's mainly protection of the mind. So if you call on Archangel Gabriel's Diamond of Clarity, the wind, the hawks, and the air for protection of your mind, and you have that visual, that's really what the whole point of this like little mini series with the elements is about. But also in general with the animal healers is like, this is what the group soul works with, this is what they're a protector of, and they bring healing to. So if you're feeling like, for example, you're feeling uprooted and you're feeling kind of chaotic, the positive side of the rabbits can help you find that rooting. Or you're feeling like your heart is overwhelmed and you don't know what's going on, the elephants can bring that stability. So that's the whole point. So I will have linked to this video the Animal Healers series specifically, that playlist of like healing your chakras with the animal kingdom. So if you're looking for more totem connection, you can look there to connect to them, and they can offer you help and guidance, and just their energy being there. It's just very transformative just when you visualize something, how powerful it can be. For me, my power animal is the sea turtles. So when I was living in a world that I did not have, living in a world, it's a different world where I was living before, where there were not easy access to sea turtles. I wore a totem, like I have now, where it was also a crystal, and just visualizing them swimming in the sea would bring me that strength, that tranquility to kind of calm down, but then give me the strength and courage to get through difficult situations. So it's so fascinating the way that you can visualize these animals, these totems, to help with different parts of your journey. So hopefully the hawks can help you, and we can protect our minds during these colder months. You know, the colder months are kind of coming to the end. The veil is going to start getting thicker soon, but while it is still thin, let's keep protecting our energy and be open to messages for our highest good from a place of divine light and love. Sending you light, love, and inspiration. Stay inspired. Until next time, goodbye for now.